It is day 3 with the new eggs, and instead of wigglers, it appears I have nothing but dead eggs. I thought I was going to have wigglers by today. Now this is the second batch of eggs that I got from Jimbo and Groucho, my original pair. And the original set did not all turned white also. However, the set from the other pair, that would be Spot and Dewey, that pair that did work, I had done one thing different. I had added some drops of pH lowering stuff in it, because the pH is a little high from what they recommend for hatching these eggs. So it could be that. They don't appear to be covered with fungus, they just appear to be white. And I'll examine them under a magnifying glass when I pull them out. If they have white fungus on them too, then I didn't use enough drops of the methylene blue. We'll have to take a look at that. The wigglers from the eggs of Spot and Dewey, here's Spot, proud papa, are right here. The box finally came from Amazon regular mail, and we have quite a few little fishes swimming around in here. I think these guys are all going to be fine. So we'll see. I think I only ended up with 30 fish or so, but that's 30 more than I need. But they seem okay, and they seem to be eating the brine shrimp. So we'll keep an eye on it. The next thing for me to do is to start testing this water again. I spoke to a few people more experienced than me, and they told me that these plants would be in shock after moving them. It would be a while before they started actually using the nutrients, especially since I'd washed the roots. But I have really good, impressive new growth coming in on everything now. And I'm going to test this water today and show you what I have. I am concerned that last time I tested it, the pH had gone up. It had become harder. And I don't know if that's something coming out of the clay. So we'll test it and take it from there. Here's the test results on the water. On the hardness, I'm pretty convinced that this is like as dark and blue as this could get, that the water is as hard as this test can test for, 7.6. Ammonia here is 0. The nitrates are normal, nitrites rather. And the nitrates, I think, have gone down. I do think I am now at the 5 parts per million, which might be the best I could hope for. But we will see. But I can't hook this up to the tank if the water is going to be that hard. So now we're going to use the, there's a test you can do for high range pH. We're going to see what it really is and take it from there. And then I can hope that there may have been stuff coming out of these, the clay that was causing these to go up, and that maybe now if I change the water a couple times, run clear water through it, that won't be so high. But as far as the nitrates go, it is going down in that bucket. And as far as the hardness of the water, it's getting harder, which is not good. So let's get the other test done. That's the high range test. And I think it's about as low as it can test for. It doesn't have any of the purple color or dark brown color at all. It actually looks like the 7.4. So, I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't want to kill anything, but I would swear that that's the very minimal amount, which is a 7.4, and when I do the regular low range check, it's coming out at 7.6. So, so this would go from a 7.2 to a 7.6. Yet I go to the high range test, and I'm testing at a 7.4. Well, not quite sure what that means. The fry are doing pretty well today. Today is March 27th? Yeah. 25th. So they're growing and their stomachs are all orange now because they're eating the shrimp every morning when I put them in and every evening. They're doing well. I'm desperately trying to get to the point where I can put this on the shelf and plumb it into the tank, but I'm having some setbacks, concerns. This is the tank water in there that I've been running, and the nitrates were coming out of it. But here we have a water test I did this morning. Now the test strip on the left is from the planter, the water that's been going through the planter, and the one on the right I just put in the tank. And the first item on there are the carbonates. The second item is the pH. And the third item is the hardness. So the water appears to be almost the exact same hardness, although the pH is higher in the water once it goes through the planter, and the carbonates are much higher. So I have to really determine right now whether or not we had a lot of minerals or something, whether or not we had something coming out of the clay that is now out of the clay. So I'm going to switch all the water that's going through the planter today with fresh water that is low, with softer water, maybe even a little acidity, and get something really neutral. Maybe I'll buy distilled water and run it through there and see what chemicals get put into the water, so we can see if this is safe to hook up to the tank. Today's experiments have led to this situation. We've put the planter up here along with my virtual reality handset, which is a good spot for that. We are plumbing. Normally this is going to come, these two tubes are going to go into the tank, but we're going to run them into this bucket today, and we bought 4 gallons of distilled water. We'll run it through here till tomorrow and test it and see what chemicals are added to the water. In the end, when testing the tank water, which is this water, it was much cleaner on everything except nitrates. This is the nitrate line on the water that was circulating in the bucket for a few days. It took the nitrates right down. However, all of the other chemicals are more severe. Although this one is purple instead of pink, which is a positive sign, I think. We will see. So by running this distilled water, we'll test the distilled water and make sure it comes out completely clean on these test strips. We'll also do it with the API tests and see what their levels are. And then after we run this through, we may find that if the chemicals come out low but stay low, we may change the water one more time just to flush it with more distilled water before we hook it to the tank, so we don't put any chemicals from the planter into the tank. That's my next step. Here's the test strip from the distilled water, just to make sure it was really negative, and according to these readings, it is 100% zero. It's truly distilled water. There's no chemicals in it. And now we'll see what gets added. So what's left now, I can imagine, is just to wait a few days and get rid of this bucket and table and just drop these two hoses into the tank, providing the water doesn't get all hard again. But I think it'll look pretty nice when it's all done. Let's see what happens.